Gabby,
I'm David,
and
and
we're
we're
Modern
Modern Living.
Living. So, I was actually talking the other day to someone, and they mentioned that we discuss some people in our family as if everyone knows who we are and who they are.
Right.
So, I thought we would take just a little bit of time to introduce our family and going a little bit into our backgrounds.
Yeah. No, for sure. I didn't realize that either when we were talking, and because we wanted to make it a little bit more like conversational,
Yes.
and then we kind of like just jumped into it. But I
Yes.
guess that's with like everything that anybody does. You kind of just like go with the flow at the beginning, and then
Mhm.
you make adjustments. So this is our couple episodes in to make an adjustment on what should have been the first episode.
Like an FYI, who
Yeah.
are we?
Who are we talking about?
Who
Who
are
are
these
these
people?
people?
Okay, so I'm Gabriella Velasquez, and my husband Daniel Velasquez. We own Modern Day Real Estate, a small real estate brokerage here in Stamford, Connecticut.
Small, but
Mighty.
what's beautiful about it is that we have very, very strong connections with all our clients, and the fact that we have like a real family brokerage.
100. Yes.
Like the people
Yes.
that work here in this office, like we're all pretty much, related one way or another.
Yes. So the majority of us, we are in some ways related. Speaking I mean, so our family dynamic, we have three beautiful children. Ashley, who is my stepdaughter, but has been in my life since she was a baby. Ashley's 26, Danny is 24, and he actually is a part of our office, and he's a part of our team. And then we have our little one, Derek, who's 5, who is still in daycare and about to go into kindergarten this
Yeah.
coming fall.
Can't sell homes yet.
Not
Not
cannot
yet.
sell yet. Yes. But we're working on it, guys.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
No, that's great. That's great. And so I'm David Quito. I've been in real estate now for 5 years. Gabby, I mean, probably, and Danny, years before that, have been telling me, get into real estate, get into real estate, get into real estate. And, the opportunity opened up during COVID.
Mhm.
So then I was like, all right, I'll hop into real estate. I did. And, I enjoyed it ever since. And, we had our COVID babies, which is the, the kids that I was talking about in previous episodes, where I'd have 2 daughters. This year they're going to be 4 and 2, and my oldest, her name is Kamari, and my youngest, her name is Kaylee. So right now they're not, anywhere near being in like real estate or anything like that. But I would love for them to be like how you guys grew up with it, where it was like a family thing.
Yeah.
So that dynamic I really, really love. So right now, we don't know that yet. Very, very young, but we have them in all the sports right now. So
Yeah.
we've had them in, we've had them in swimming, we've had them in soccer. We're planning on getting them into a couple different sports just to
Okay.
see what they like, what they don't like. At
I
least
love
for
that idea.
Kamari, and then I
Mhm.
love the jujitsu stuff.
Mhm.
So maybe get a little bit of empowerment in there. Kaylee, she's just a loose cannon right now. So she's kind of like, what I love about her is that she just follows Kamari. So
Yeah.
she's learning so quickly.
From her
And plus
big
she's tall.
sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's tall. So it's kind of like,
Kaylee's coming up on a birthday this month, right?
yeah. So March 14th.
I love that.
So, she's going to be turning 2, which I always forget that.
What?
Yeah, in a sense of like, because her development is like so up there,
Oh, yeah.
where it's kind of like I always forget like she's just 1 and change. Like I don't know what
Because
it
she's
is.
so outgoing.
Yeah,
They always say
yeah,
that the second child, like when you have kids like back to back,
yeah,
they always say the second child is always so much more advanced, probably
hmm
because the first child you're coddling and it's your
yeah.
baby, and and then your second child, you're like, have you seen that Huggies commercial where the mom is like with the first child and it's like everything perfect, and with the second baby,
Oh, yeah,
she has like the baby on one hand, she has like
yeah.
a
I
pack
haven't
of
seen
wipes
that
and
one.
one diaper, and she's like out the door.
Yeah,
And it's true, your little ones are always trying to keep up
yeah,
with the bigger ones, and therefore like they're learning things quicker,
hmm
and they're so much faster with everything that they do because
yeah.
they don't want to be left behind.
Exactly. And I see that, and then it's just so funny at times. I catch myself because I'm like, why are you why are you not scooping it correctly? Like, how are you not, picking it up with the spoon, eating it like that? Why is everything dropping? And I'm like, Oh,
because she's a
because she's a
baby.
baby.
You know that meme? I'm just a
Yeah. So,
baby.
but yeah, those are my two daughters there, and who knows more in the future. I mean, I,
Yeah,
I was always like a big family type of guy.
yeah,
We grew up with, my two sisters and my brother, and it's
yeah,
like I loved the fact that I had like a lot of people to talk to, and
yeah.
then on top of that, I have my sister and brother who had babies at the same time.
Oh my gosh, yes, you guys are such
So
a beautiful
yeah,
like brew. Because I feel like although it can be a little chaotic when
yes,
everyone is together, I also think back and I'm like, this is gonna be just like such a beautiful experience for them
yeah,
when they're like 17, 18,
for
19, 20.
sure,
They're gonna
for
look back
sure.
on these times and think like, that was the most amazing time
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, because they don't know this, but they were born in the same year. So
Hmm.
both two rounds of kids were all born in the same year
So in total, there were six grandchildren
in 2 years.
in 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my mom loved it because for the longest she's only had my oldest brother,
Hmm.
just Armando, just him.
Hmm. Hmm.
So and that was for 15 years.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
He was like
15.
the king
Yeah,
of the
he
crop.
was the number one. Everyone was given everything, and him making his mistakes. I told you about the story about when he used my credit card on Grand Theft Auto
Yes,
to buy
so
a yacht,
funny.
and then he knew he could get away with it, so he did it two more times. And then
Yes,
that's when we were like, "Yo, that you're done, like
yes.
you're done." But he's learned. He's such a good kid, but he
He
didn't
is a good
he didn't
kid.
realize like he's like, "Oh, I just got a free yacht. I got the money back. Like we're good." But yeah, he's for 15 years, and now we're adding six more kids to the mix. But it's
Yeah.
great because the dynamic with him and the kids, it's amazing.
I'm sure he's also like he's such a like a grown up, compared to the
Yeah,
little ones. And I mean, he is in general.
yeah.
He's
Well,
about to
he's
go to
18 now.
exactly. He's about to go to
Yeah.
college this fall or whatever it is he decides to do with his life.
Hmm.
And he probably like loves be spending time with the little ones and being
Yeah.
with them and watching them grow. And they probably idolize him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like their big cousin, their older cousin. The only reason I say that is because so I had, so obviously Danny had Ashley, and Danny and I had Danny, and they grew up 2 years apart. And for the longest time, we just couldn't agree of whether we wanted more children. And in the beginning, I wanted to have more children. I wanted to have more children, and he was like, "We're not ready. We're not there yet." And then when he was ready, I didn't want any more children. But then when Ashley went to college, and then Danny went to college, and Danny went far. He went to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So we would come home, and the house would be completely empty, and it would just be the two of us. And he bought me a dog because he was like, maybe you just need a dog. And it's sad, but probably like a couple of months before Danny went away to college, we lost our last dog. We had a pit bull, and we lost him to cancer. So really, we were just alone. And I had a conversation with him, and I was like, we're still so young. We can still start over. Like,
Yeah.
is that something you would want to do? And he was like, yes. I thought you would never say that. I thought you would never want to do that again. And we started all over,
Yeah.
and now we have a beautiful 5-year-old, and Ashley and Danny are just obsessed.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with everything that he's doing. Derek is really active, and we've always believed in that, like what you said about like sports and getting your kids into things. um, our kids had to be in a sport every season or in some sort of lesson or something. I mean, our kids did everything from horseback riding to,
I didn't know horseback riding.
yeah, Ashley did horseback riding.
Yeah.
Ashley did basketball. We did music lessons with Ashley one year. I mean, we've done a ballet.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Keep going.
we tried
Cha-ching,
we tried
cha-ching.
so many things. Like we always encouraged our kids to be busy,
Yeah.
and not only keeping their mind busy but also keeping their body busy,
Yeah.
because the busier you are, the less trouble you get into.
True.
So same thing for Danny. He was always into all kinds of sports, and Derek is following their footsteps. So Derek is now in jujitsu. He plays soccer on Saturdays. During the summer months, he does baseball. Um, he swims in the summer. I mean, there's just so many things that he does. So keeping a busy body is like
Yeah.
really, really good. Um, and I mean, just seeing the dynamic between our children just makes me fall in love with with what we did. You know,
Yeah.
our children are so close, and they've become closer and closer as they've grown. You know,
Hmm.
as they've gone into evolved into their adulthood. Like Ashley is talking about buying a home,
I know a good
potentially.
realtor.
Yeah. Potentially next year with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she's talking about, getting engaged and
That's
getting married.
amazing.
Just the
Yeah.
other day we did our like pretend guest list.
Yeah.
Cause she's so funny.
Like
She's
wedding guest
yeah,
list?
like a wedding guest list. So we literally were eating at the dining room table, and we were talking about like how many people would she need to invite to her pretend wedding.
Yeah.
So we just started like running off like a guest list, and I mean, we are at like 150 guests.
Yeah. I'm not
And
surprised.
that's because Ashley has three beautiful blended families. Like she has her mom's side of the family, which is very large. She has her dad's side of the family, who's very large. And then she has my family, who's watched her grow up, and
Hmm.
who, I appreciate she even considers them attending her wedding,
Right.
so between all families and, some of their friends, she's like, "Oh my god, like what am I gonna do? I need to get like a third job just to pay for our wedding." We were at 150 guests.
It's a lot.
Um, so and then you have like Danny, who, they both have been with their significant other for quite a while now, and Danny just told me last night. He's like, "Well, mom, our plan is whether we leave and rent or whether we leave and buy, like that's our plan." So he's talking about moving out in December.
Yeah. December.
Yeah, which is like crushing my heart.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I moved out of my home super young. That's not wasn't a good thing, but I lived on my own for a really long time. And even when I did move back into my family home, I didn't actually live. My mom owned a multifamily house, and I never went back to living with my mom and my dad. Actually, we did briefly. But that I lived with them for maybe a year, if that, with Danny, and then that was it. So from the time I left at 17
Which is
to,
insane to think about now.
yeah, I was on my own since I was 17. And then when I came back to live at home, I was probably maybe 19, 20. And I lived with my parents for like a year, and that was it. And then I left, and I was on my own since. So I get it. I get their need for
Yeah.
independence.
I mean, you
Um,
had a solid 24 years.
I know, I know, and it's not a bad thing.
Right.
It's a good thing,
Yeah, no, for
It's
sure. I mean, you know how many kids are that I like when I was 18 and they were like, "Yo, I can't wait once I get out of college, like I'm out. I'm
yeah,
out, like I'm out."
yeah.
And I hear that I'm like, "But why?"
But
But
why?
why?
Mommy loves you.
Yeah, basically. So it's like, but no, just having, but it's also how they grew up.
Yeah.
So they grew up that way where I was like, all right, when their parents they got out of college, they left. They got
Yes.
their own stuff.
Yes.
So, but
I
like,
definitely want them to be prepared,
yeah, I would
I
say Danny is prepared. I would say he's responsible enough. He's like he's got a good head on his shoulders to
yeah. Yeah.
make it out there. And
Ashley,
of course, I imagine he's not moving too far, right?
no, well, he doesn't want to move too far.
Yeah,
Neither does Ashley, but I do understand like when it comes to like their budget and things,
yeah,
they're a lot younger, So things are going to be a little bit rougher.
yeah,
But so many people are doing it. So many people do it every single day, So I'm not too worried about them. I know that they'll make good, smart choices, and
yeah,
they'll do what's best for them.
yeah.
And they also have the people that are in their lives, like, Ashley and her boyfriend. He's such a good kid, not a
Hmm.
kid, he's a man,
Right.
but he's so good, he's so loving, like he has ambitions, and he's working two jobs and is still in school, and then Danny's girlfriend is the same. She has such a good head on her shoulders. She's still in school, but she's also working full time, and she babysits on the weekends, and it's like a constant thought of like, what are we doing next? Like,
Yeah.
what's the next move? And I love that. I
Yeah.
love to see that. I love to see that they're both in relationships with people who are in that same mindset,
Right.
What are
Like,
we
what's
doing
next?
next?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah. And
Because,
a lot of people in their early 20s, they're not, I mean, there are some that do think about that.
yes,
Like with me, like I was like that, mentally, I was like, what am I have to do something.
yes,
So it's like to see that is just incredible, especially from two partners.
yeah,
So that dynamic is really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. I do remember when you brought up, like, when we kept on trying to get you to join real estate. For us, I remember, like, watching you, because our office was like right down the street here on
Yeah.
Summer, our old office. And I remember pulling up to work and seeing you leaving Target with like a bin of candy
Oh.
and like pulling up next to you. And like Danny would be like, "Where are you going, David?" And you're like, "I just bought some candy so I could sell."
Yeah. No, that was big for me. I got in trouble so many times because of that.
And like us seeing you do that was like, this kid gets it. Like, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
It's something that, not that you don't necessarily have to be born with it, but you absolutely, there comes a time where it just clicks in your
Yeah.
head.
Just
And I
aware of
feel
it.
like it clicked in your head a long, long time ago.
It did. It did.
Like that need for, like, this can't be it, like it. Like,
Yeah.
what can I do? How can I get there? What can I do to get there quicker?
Right. Right.
And we knew you had those like sales skills, because it is a skill.
Yeah.
And it's not something that comes easy to people.
Right.
Um,
I'm lucky it just hit early.
it did.
Cause there you go, middle school. So before candy, it was actually I went out. I think we were in like New York or something like that, and then I saw these people like airbrushing t-shirts.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's super cool. And like I was seeing how much they were charging, and I was like, all right, there's some good money to be made there because the t-shirts are gonna be like $3-4. So buy the
Yeah.
machine, and then that's your investment.
Yeah.
So that's where my mom helped me out. She was my investor,
Your manager.
my manager, investor, and everything. And she actually bought me the machine to make t-shirts. So
Hmm.
that's where I started. So I was doing the paintbrushing for friends.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So
news to me.
yeah,
Okay.
but there was a huge problem with that though. I sucked at drawing. So my shirts are trash. So I knew I couldn't do much with it. So like every single time that I tried to make like the bubble art and everything like that with
Right.
the friends' names, it's like I just didn't have that skill, and it was just because like I didn't know how to do it. I never sought out like help to
Right.
do it. So
Right.
then I was like, all right, I can't move forward with this. I don't know
Okay.
where to go from here.
Okay.
So then that's when I stopped, and then that's when I got into the candy.
How old were you when this happened?
I was in middle school. I mean, how old are kids there?
Like between 12, maybe
Yeah, like
12,
11, 12-ish, around
13.
there. Yeah, is when I started the paintbrushing, and then got into candy in middle school.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was making a good amount of money there.
You told me one
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
I had this like little dinosaur like slider box
Okay.
that I would stuff money in there. And then it was like the funniest thing because I remember one day my brother was like, "Yo, Dave, can I have some money for a haircut?"
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like, "Choo, there you go, my friend. There's some money." And it felt great that I
Yeah.
was able to like I guess provide, be
Help.
like help people
Hmm.
in that aspect. So then I kept that up, but I ended up getting in trouble for it
Yeah.
because they were like, "Oh, it could lead to drugs. It could do this."
It's so wild to me.
Lo and behold, they stop me, suspend me, and then a year later, they have a candy shop there in the school that anybody could buy candy from.
Yeah.
So, but it was just funny to see that.
Yeah.
And then from there, going into high school,
Hmm.
that's when I was starting to once again do like the candy stuff again,
Yeah.
but it was more along the lines of now organizing trips. So I would
Okay.
organize trips for me and my friends
Hmm.
to go on like spring break.
Really? In
Yeah,
high
in high
school?
school.
You were allowed to go away on spring break in high school?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. We would go to like Virginia Beach. We would go to North Carolina.
In high school?
Yeah.
My
You didn't
mom
know
would
that?
my mom would never.
My
No.
mom drove us one time to like go over there.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you would like chart. In other words, you were like a travel agent,
In a sense, I guess.
but you got like a little bit of payment from it.
If people didn't show up, like they lost their money. So at that point, we used it to like buy food and like all the stuff that we needed over there.
Get the heck out
Yeah,
of here.
yeah,
You are
yeah.
hysterical.
And
Okay,
then
that I never knew.
yeah, yeah. So I guess you could call it a travel agent. So I was that, and then from there, getting into college,
Mhm.
I was like, all right, I can't. I did the travel agency thing a little bit longer than that, so we could all because we were all away for college. So when we'd
Mhm.
come back, we'd do the thing again.
Right.
But this time, I was like, I have to make something here. So then
Right.
that's when I started cutting hair.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes. I forgot about
yeah. Started
that.
cutting hair, and I was like, all right, I can't cut other people's hair first, but I don't mind myself looking crazy
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, I could just shave it all off. So I
Yeah.
started with cutting my own hair first, and then
Wow.
my friend was like, "Yo, you want to cut my hair?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine, I'll do it." So I would cut his hair for free until I got good at it, and then I got good at
Wow.
doing fades, and everybody was doing fades at the time. So I was like, "All right, so we're good there."
And you were probably charging a little bit cheaper than
It was like
a
at the
barber
time it was like
was.
$15. So it was, I
Okay.
mean, that's kind of like close to what barbers are charging. They're probably charging like 20, 25.
Got it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. So I was doing $15 a cut, and then I would consistently get clients like every single week.
Okay.
And then when that, because I got in trouble, not in trouble, but it's like if you got caught, you'd get in trouble now.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to run a business or something like that.
Got it. It
And
got so big it became like a business.
yeah, so that happened, and then I kind of like slowed down on that. I was like, all right, I have to figure out how else I'm gonna make money here
Right.
because I had the work study, which was like $1,100 a month,
Okay.
which wasn't bad. Work study is like you have a job on campus.
Oh
So
yes.
yeah, so I was working security where I would like drive people from one that were injured from like their dorm to their class.
Okay.
And then I was like, all right, I have to figure out how I'm gonna make money. So what I ended up doing at the end of the semester, there was a lot of people that got left with meal plan money.
Okay.
So I would buy that meal plan money
Okay.
and then I would sell it to someone else for a higher
How?
price.
How would you do that?
I'd buy, like I'd give them the money and we'd do the transfer.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
So I did that as well as during the semester, there was these big like events. So one
Mhm.
of them is like Barstool.
Mhm.
So what I would do is I'd purchase all the people that couldn't go
Mhm.
anymore for
Mhm.
some reason. They'd always sell it for cheap. And I'd go and I'd immediately purchase it. And then I'd wait until it's like 1 to 2 hours before. And there's always people that are like, yo, I want to go. Does anyone have tickets? Does
Oh
anyone have
my
tickets?
gosh.
So I'd be making like $40, $50 every single ticket. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I would purchase it for like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, and then sell it,
For like
for 60,
50,
50.
60.
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
I mean, so then like if we really think about it, you truly have that entrepreneurial mentality,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Throughout
that
my
kind of
whole
like,
life, pretty much.
how can I make this work? Where is the need?
Yeah.
Where is like what can I provide?
Yeah.
And am I making a profit?
Yeah. That's all it is. Just supply and demand. And is there a margin there?
That is so
Yeah.
funny. That story I never knew.
Yeah. 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 So that's what I did in college. So every single step, middle school, high school, college, there was
College,
always something.
something you were
Yeah.
doing.
And
Uh,
then getting into the adult world, after college,
Yeah,
that is just
yeah,
job, but I always had that side hustles.
right.
So I've always done the Uber, the Lyft, um, Uber Eats, and then got into a little bit of a couple years later into t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, back into t-shirts. Funny enough, from
From your
from
original
middle school. Yeah,
idea.
from the original idea. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah, and
great.
then I created a couple businesses during my college years. So funny enough,
Wow.
they started like an entrepreneurial program,
Hmm.
and then that program it was amazing. We went to like competitions, we like did all that. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
I mean, at one point you were even developing an app. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah. So it was called Unico,
Yeah.
and it was basically the Craigslist for college students. So
Yeah.
basically, what I was doing right there, but facilitated within an app. So it's almost like a great comparison would be like an Amazon.
Okay.
The future of what Unico was going to be. It was
Right.
like an Amazon, but for college
For
students. So we'll
college
hit
kids.
strictly college kids. So there's a lot of like books and stuff like that people want to get rid of at the end of the year or
Yeah.
purchase at the beginning of the year, and they
Yeah.
don't want to use like the bookstore because it's super expensive, or like Amazon's expensive. But there's some kids that just throw out their books.
Yeah.
So why not just throw it up there on the app specific to your college?
Wow.
Yeah. So I was developing that for a couple of years, like out of pocket too. So it was like I spent probably like $7,000 to $12,000 like during my college years, like developing
Really?
the app. Yeah.
Oh man.
Because I every single time I've always had to like update the code, update the code, update the code, and then try to pay someone to make it look nicer and do all that. And it's like, and then anytime that I try to grab a team from college, it like never worked out for one
Mm.
reason or another.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure you'll have
Oh, that's still on the back burner though.
another idea soon that you'll
Yeah,
like be wanting to
for
execute.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean that idea I think is still great,
Yeah.
and I still have all the code and
Yeah.
everything, so it's still technically,
It is a great
yeah,
idea. I definitely think that's a great
yeah.
idea.
Well, it won me second place at like one of these investor competitions. Yeah, the
Really?
only reason why I didn't win first is because of the profitability. So
Mm.
I didn't explain it how I should have.
Mm.
Meanwhile, it was like this boat slip company
Okay.
that won it,
Okay.
where it's kind of like you rent out slips at like different places that you could do through an app and like all that.
Okay.
But their numbers were just what investors want to look like.
Got
You know, the
you.
hundreds of thousands of this in dollars, and in 3 to 5 years it'll be millions, you know,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Okay.
Meanwhile, like I wasn't there yet in terms of the development because I was still in the early stages.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, but it was great. And I actually ended up talking to an investor afterwards, went to lunch with him and everything like that, to try to see how he could invest and be a developer through it
Oh
in
my
that
gosh, that's
aspect.
awesome.
Yeah, but didn't work out because mentally I wasn't there. You know, I was
Yeah.
still college party boy type of thing, and it was
Yeah.
like I didn't realize the opportunity that I lost
Yeah.
until I, grew up.
Listen, I think that, God has such a beautiful way of navigating us through where we're supposed to where we're supposed to be.
Yeah,
We always end up exactly where we're supposed to be. Obviously, through our hard work and putting in effort, but there's, he always brings us to exactly where we're meant to be. So
yeah, 100%.
that's great.
I
And
completely
then,
agree.
who knows? I mean, you can continue to develop that and that can grow up into something, blow
Yeah,
up into something big.
100%.
You better
End
copyright
goal,
that.
end goal was to sell to the Bezos,
Yeah.
so I could get the. Nah, it would have been great.
The pesos.
I was gonna say pesos, but I was like trying to think of the
Like,
exchange rate. Is it good
no,
right now?
probably not pesos.
But yeah, I mean that's us.
In a
Well, in a
nutshell,
nutshell, that's us.
I mean,
There's a lot more to unfold, but
which we'll get
we'll
into.
get into
Bye,
it.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of Modern Living. If you enjoyed this conversation, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share with your friends. I'm Gabby Velasquez.
I'm David Quito, and until then, click the link below for some of our other videos.
Bye.